Crowd is backed out the door in support of Chief Rohmer. The Channel 7 cameraman has just arrived. Let's see if they give Scott Rohmer fair coverage tonight. We'll bring it to you live if they don't.
That being said, I would like to say that I do recognize the hard work of the police department.
Oh yeah, I know you're with him, right?
And do a wonderful and outstanding job. I will just recognize a long-time friend and colleague, Joe Yannick,
You see, folks, huge crowd turning out for Chief Rohmer.
Over the years, with the old timers now, but thank you. Also, I'd like to say, I could say something about all the police officers at the police department, past and present. I could tell you a detailed story about how they helped or assisted someone in this community, myself included, and the care that we as police professionals provide to this community. And that's a wonderful thing. I'll spare you with that. And by the way, as I look across this room and see some people here that I love and care about, and thank you very much. I could tell you stories about them as well, in a positive way, how they have helped and how this community has stuck together and helped others and done amazing things to support our community here in Ashland, which is a wonderful thing and very humbling for myself as police chief and resident. So thank you all. Thank you all for what you guys do. I just want to say thank you very much before I shut off and get out of here.
We are the external customer, that's who we are, and you are the vendor. So the pyramid is not this way as like the military service, but it's rather this way. The higher you are, the lower you are on serving us. The citizens' problem actually stems from the Ashland Town Home Charter. There's 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. 10 of those cities and towns have the same structure as Ashland, where the town manager directly hires and fires members of the police department. The other 341 seem to have been out there. So what does that do? It brings chaos. It undermines authority. It makes the chief a mere figurehead. There's no control of the department. It undermines public safety in the town of Ashland. It needs to be changed. It's a pattern going on for years, long before Scott. He's not the first chief that's had confidence. He's the first chief that we'll stand here for and support. This is our first. And we'll do it again and again. We'll be in. We'll bring me a letter. It was mailed today. Dear Mr. President, my name is Cheyenne. I am 9 and I live in Ashland, Massachusetts. You're president, so everyone has to do what you say. Could you please call my town and tell them to hire the police chief back? His name is Scott Rohmer. I feel safe with him as my chief. I want to be a police officer, but couldn't because I have epilepsy. Scott is really nice. And people aren't being nice to him in my town. Thank you. Cheyenne, this is from my heart. You know, I've seen these kids before, I've seen the corporate record too. New guy comes in, he starts doing his own things. I don't know if that's been the case, I don't know what the case is. But as a first major decision, I'm showing up at the job, such drastic action. So what's around here is unprecedented. Don't disagree with it. I'm saying that 27 years of service, that's right, and I am putting that out there. It's not the line. Because this is what I believe in, this is the town I believe in, and this is not the government that we want here. We live here, the customers pay taxes. We live here because we want a certain level of living, a certain style of living. We get the trash collected. Our police come when we need them as a fire department. our town hall works here. Our police department's been chaos, and it stems from the charter the way it's written. Intentional or not, I don't know. If Scott wanted to control this department, he couldn't. He couldn't. The authority of our police chief has been undermined. It's a disgrace. It needs to be changed. We are the customers. We are not satisfied. I am submitting this letter to the records for reading.
As you probably will understand, I'm in total support of the chief, and I'm extremely disappointed in the Board of Selectmen. They have absolutely run away from their responsibilities. That new town manager, that he got thrown into the infernal fire that Ashland has had going on since about 2005 until today's date. Knowing that, and being an investigatory officer as you are, what bothers me is poor chief got whaled by both papers in Boston and the local papers regarding his faults and all that he has done incorrectly in this police department, and never mentioned the man really in charge of the police department was our town manager for those number of years. He not only paid the bills, he paid the salaries, determined all negotiations with the police department, and oh, by the way, hired and fired. Now, when you take all that out of the pie, there's a little sliver in there called Scott Rohmer. And he did a magnificent job turning that little sliver into a bunch of people in this community who love the guy. I only plead with the selectmen to reconsider that he is fired and postpone it until you've had an opportunity to get evidence from all the others you haven't seen yet to determine whether his fault is so bad that his career must be ruined. Thank you very much.
This is the longest that my husband and my family and I have lived in any one place. And to feel this way, it really hurts my heart. I don't, Mr. Hanna, share your sympathy for our new town manager. When you take on a responsibility like you did as a leader, you have the responsibility to act that way. I've worked in corporate America for over 20 years leading teams. I've never met a CEO who comes into a company and makes a decision like you did without fully investigating and hearing all of the facts.
And there goes Channel 7.
Learned over the years a little something about leadership. You're the new town manager, so I just want to make sure I'm addressing. You're the new town manager. One of the things I know in teaching leadership is that leadership is always the problem. Leadership is always the solution. It's difficult to be blamed as the leader when you really aren't the leader. But I do know also this about leadership, is I've never known in all my years, and before I was in the ministry, I was in the corporate world. As this very gifted young woman just said, stealing my thunder, I cannot imagine arriving in town in 2 days. I've known Scott Rohmer for 25 years. I cannot imagine arriving in town in 2 days and carry out a termination of a situation I knew nothing about except whoever was manipulating me and ordering me to take that step. It makes me ashamed of the very idea of leadership if you actually believe that that's what's proper. I'm ashamed. I don't know what to do except to pray for you in this town.
There's a huge decision that you made, and I'll speak momentarily on the chief here. I've known him since I was in 7th grade. I used to play the record for the wrestling team when he was captain. My brother wrestled with him. And my dad and everybody everybody always called him Johnny. And I've grown up knowing this man, and that's the best word I can come up with to describe him as a gentleman. In school, he was captain of the wrestling team, and he was my freshman football coach. I always looked up to him. I've known him. I always called him coach until I became a selectman, and that's when I started calling him chief. And I will continue to call him chief because I have that respect for him as a leader in this community. I want to mention too, it's nice to see Channel 5 here. They were. Hopefully they can get a better story tonight than what they ran before. All due respect, we made a decision, and I feel like it was very uninformed. Part of the reason is because I was selected for 3 years up until a year ago. That kind of puts me in the heart of the last 5 years of police turmoil. I've had a lot of knowledge of what happened, both from that side and also dealing with the former town manager, and many meetings and discussions and debates and things. And you came in and made a decision. Channel 5 writes a news story. No one called me. I know a lot. Maybe I don't know everything, but I think my opinion might have counted. You made a decision. I feel it was an error. I think you probably know that the majority of people here think it was an error. And you have the ability to correct that decision. And I hope you do.
I would ask, as a former selectman, Mr. Mitchell, you as the chair have the ability to extend this public hearing, your opening comments, or that you were going to limit this to 7:30. I think I can prove that the public wants to be heard on this issue, so I would ask if you would extend it.
We did extend it to 7:45. We do have an agenda that we need to conduct business.
All right, I will just make a brief comment, Mr.
I
Chair.
don't know what could be more important than this.
You know, a lot of people sitting at this table I consider friends, and I have a love and an admiration for everybody sitting at this table because I know what you're going through tonight. But I'm here tonight because my heart hurts for the town that I love, and I am disappointed in my town this evening. I've given my heart and soul to this town since the day I moved in here. I live in fear of living in this town because of the corruption within the police department. I don't want to raise my family in a town that I'm afraid of, that something could be happening for retaliation because of the police department. And you should be ashamed, all of you, that you've allowed it to get to this point.
Hear, hear.
Is a friend of Scott Rohmer's. I am a friend of Scott Rohmer's. You know what? Scott Rohmer and I don't go out to lunch together. We don't hang out together. We don't go to parties together. I'm friends with Scott Rohmer because I have the utmost respect for him as a human being.